Hi, I'm Andrej T. You've ever wondered why criminals can seem to know your card details before you've even clicked anything suspicious? Welcome to the gloriously depressing economy of stolen data, where your personal information is treated less like a privacy right and more like a discounted supermarket item. Forget the Hollywood hacker in a hoodie. Real cybercrime is a global business, complete with specialists, customer support, marketplaces, and a customer satisfaction rate measured entirely in regret. A data breach happens when attackers ogle their way into a company's systems and help themselves to customer information. Sometimes they leave with a few thousand records. Sometimes they arrive with a metaphorical skip lorry and depart with hundreds of millions. What gets stolen is rarely just money. More often it is your name, address, email, passwords, phone number, birthday, card details, loyalty accounts, and identity documents. In other words, the raw ingredients for an impersonation banquet. Credit card data can include the card number, expiry date, cardholder name, billing address, and sometimes the CVV code, depending on how and where it was captured. Enough details, in the wrong hands, can turn everyday shopping into a fraudulent hobby. How do attackers get it? Phishing emails, fake websites, malware, infected payment systems, breached databases, malicious apps, and the occasional insider who has decided that ethics offer people with fewer opportunities. Often the old password is the key to the whole palace. If one website is compromised, criminals try the same password elsewhere automatically, because many people still reuse passwords as if they were auditioning for a cautionary tale. And then there is the human factor. A convincing phone call, a fake invoice, or an urgent email can make someone hand over access voluntarily, proving once again that the weakest firewall is often the one with a steering committee. Sometimes attackers learn a card's expiry date from merchant databases or online accounts long before the physical card is ever used. That is why stored data matters so much. Seeing the expiry early is like getting the second half of a lockpick set in advance. The dark web is a hidden part of the internet accessed through special software. It is not illegal by itself, though criminals adore it for its anonymity and its ability to make shoplifting look like an administrative process. Once stolen, personal information is packaged into searchable listings. Buyers compare quality, freshness, country, bank, and account type, very much like online shopping, except the review system is mostly fear. Criminals often call a full identity package a false. That may include your name, address, date of birth, banking details, and other personal information. It is the sort of bundle deal that nobody sensible ever wanted to be offered. Not all stolen data is equally valuable. Fresh financial records usually fetch more than old passwords, because freshness in cybercrime means a higher chance of success, and in this market, yesterday's loot is practically compost. The buyer is not always the original thief. One gang steals, another sells, and another uses the goods for fraud, identity theft, or scams. Like a very efficient supply chain, if the supply chain were morally rotten and wore trainers. Why do expiry dates matter? Because they help criminals make online purchases look more convincing. Combined with other stolen data, the date increases the odds that a fake transaction will slip through looking almost respectable. Some criminals test stolen cards with tiny purchases first. If the card works, they go larger later. It is the financial equivalent of tapping a melon and then buying the whole crate. Stolen data does not stop at cards. It can feed fake loans, tax fraud, account takeovers, SIM swaps, cryptocurrency theft, and tailored phishing attacks that know your name, your bank, and your bad judgment. Many businesses store customer details for refunds, subscriptions, loyalty schemes, and faster checkout. Convenience is lovely until it turns your database into a treasure chest for people with no moral compass and very reliable internet. Encryption helps by turning stolen files into something far less usable. Even if attackers copy the data, it may remain unreadable without the key, which is gratifying because criminals, unlike customers, rarely enjoy being told to enter a passphrase. Multi-factor authentication adds another barrier. Even if your password is stolen, the attacker still needs a second check, which is why it is one of the simplest ways to make a fraudster look embarrassingly unfinished. Not every company collecting data is a criminal operation. Legitimate data brokers work within legal rules, while underground markets sell stolen information without permission. One is bureaucracy, the other is burglary with better branding. Across South Asia, rapid digital payments, expanding online banking, and millions of first-time internet users make cybersecurity awareness especially important. The region is not uniquely vulnerable, but it is certainly a favorite hunting ground for opportunists. Public Wi-Fi can expose sensitive information if apps or websites are poorly secured. Avoid entering financial details on unknown networks, because free internet is often only free in the same way a mousetrap is a free buffet. Fraudulent shopping websites can imitate trusted retailers alarmingly well. Always check the web address carefully before entering payment details or passwords. A convincing clone site is still a con, even if it has prettier buttons. Keep banking apps updated, download only from official stores, enable biometric login where available, and never install apps from links sent by strangers. If a random message offers convenience, it is usually renting your stupidity for profit. If a company announces a breach involving your account, do not panic dramatically into the kettle. Change your password immediately, monitor your finances, and follow official guidance. Calm is more effective than theatrical despair. Review bank and card statements regularly. Small unauthorized transactions often appear before larger fraud attempts, because even criminals enjoy a test drive before steering into the wall. If you suspect compromise, freeze or replace the card through your bank as quickly as possible. Modern apps can do this instantly, which is a rare moment when technology behaves like a responsible adult. Do not reuse passwords. A unique password for every important account greatly limits the damage when one site suffers a breach. It is tedious, yes, but so is explaining to your bank why every account appears to have joined a conspiracy. Password managers generate strong, unique passwords and store them securely, saving you from the impossible task of remembering 50 variations of the same weak idea. Until next time.